Hi Virgo, welcome to your end of May 2017 General Tarot Forecast update. Boy, that's a mouthful. And so welcome, and if you're looking for love readings, I will be posting them shortly, probably in the next week or less. So, having said that, I'm also going to pull a card from the Energy Oracle deck. Hopefully I won't forget to do that like I just did for Pisces. Then I had to tack on a separate ending. So maybe when I pull out these cards, I should pull out that card so I don't forget. That probably would be a plan. Okay. I'm just cutting these. You know what? I've been getting this card over and over again. The Two of Pentacles. Oops. Okay, so this is general, so I do try to include all possibilities, and if it seems more like a love reading, then I might read it that way, but I do try to include different scenarios. So I have been getting that Two of Pentacles, sometimes in different positions, but still in the reading for this end of May period. By the way, in the end of May, we go from Taurus, which is an earth sign and represented by the Pentacles, to Gemini, which is the sign of the twins and has that duality, which the two represents. So it could be mirroring that earth to air, especially that double sign. Yeah, the phone rang, so I had to stop the recording. But yeah, so it represents that duality. And so whenever you get like a Two of Pentacles, it can either mean that you're working two jobs and you are very busy, or that you might get a job offer for somewhere far away, which is very common these days. There are a lot of contract jobs in Europe, in China, in America, and people are traveling all over the world to work. And could be one of those situations, and you may be not sure if you want to take anyone up on an offer, or it could involve possibly two individuals that you are dealing with. And maybe there could be an earth sign person involved, maybe a Taurus, because I did get the Hierophant, and that does relate to the sign of Taurus. But in the past position, we have the Hanged Man. And this is a card that is associated with kind of letting go of the need to control a situation. And it's possible that you had a hard time making a concrete decision about something. And you were hoping that if you just didn't apply pressure to the situation, it would naturally resolve itself. But perhaps you realize you're going to have to take an active role in deciding what to do about a particular situation. So, for instance, with a job situation, you may have been so torn that you just said to yourself, well, I won't do anything overt to either reject the offer or confirm it, and I'll see if they keep pursuing me, and if they do, maybe it'll be the universe's way of telling me I should take this job. The other thing too with this is that if it's an affair or some kind of thing with two different people, the Hierophant could represent a marriage. Now, it could either be that you are not willing to commit to somebody because they refuse to get married to you, or that you are debating whether or not to continue with a marriage. It could simply represent the sign of Taurus. The Hierophant is also about tradition. So it could even be like, let's say you were working for family and you felt this need to conform to that because that's you're trying to prove that you're a good son or daughter. And yet you really have this desire to do something else, or you may have even gotten an offer to do something else. You may feel a sense of conflict within yourself because of it. The higher message is the King of Cups, and I did get this for another sign. This can be a boss who is a very compassionate individual, somebody you can kind of cry on their shoulder or talk to, who's understanding of your dilemma. Or it could be a counselor, it could be a father or a father substitute. It could be an older gentleman who is of a water sign temperament, if not the actual Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces sun sign. It could be somewhere in their chart, but they definitely have a compassionate nature. They may either be older than you, they may be in a prominent position in terms of authority, like a boss is, or the owner of a company, or they can just be very mature emotionally. Maybe they're not necessarily chronologically older, but they give that air of someone who is in control of their emotions, but not cold as the result. In other words, they know they have healthy emotional patterns. And this could be someone that you consult, because this could be a healer, a therapist, or anything like that, or a religious figure. Perhaps you're very upset about this situation in some way. Even like a psychic that you could be consulting. But whatever is happening, Virgo, you are a sign that's able to analyze details. You're able to kind of come to your own decision on things. You're not like wishy-washy, like a sign like Libra. Of course, you're right next to Libra, so it's very possible that you have personal planets in Libra that make you less decisive. The problem with Virgo, and I have a moon in Virgo, so I'm allowed to say this, is analysis paralysis, of really analyzing things to the point where you can see the flaws in everything that you do. And that might be with the Hangman, is that you're refusing to take action. And maybe at some point it was warranted, but now it's like the ball is in your court. Maybe there was a good reason to kind of lay off of a situation. And it's kind of like in any kind of situation, I actually think that the Hangman card is a really good card because it points to trying to allow the universe to work on your behalf when you are sometimes feeling a bit indecisive, or even, I would say like indecisive about which way is the right way to go. But I'm seeing, indecision here because we also have this card. And this is what I'm talking about. This is like the Two of Swords. In the challenge position, it's like you see that she's blindfolded. And so this person may be in denial. So you may be glossing over certain details, even though you're a detail-oriented person. You may still have the tendency to make something seem less big a deal than it really is. And when it's in the challenge position, this card is about maybe refusing to see things as they really are, and because you don't want to have to make a decision. Or perhaps you've arrived at a stalemate. Maybe you are trying to work something out with another person and you can't. They won't cooperate. If you're dealing with a Taurus, I was thinking when you're talking about cooperation, if you're dealing with a Taurus, you may be dealing with a very stubborn person. And that person may not even be able to see things in your way. They may just be so stuck on their own desires or their own way of seeing things that you feel like you're not being heard by them, and you probably aren't. So the point that I'm trying to make is that if, for instance, if you want to get married and somebody is saying that if they're dragging their feet and they don't want to do it and it's very important to you, then at some point, once you analyze, like, why is this so important to me? What are the reasons? And you feel like you have very good reasons for it. Then you will probably come to the understanding that this person is not the right person for you because they do not share your values or your desires. And so it may be kind of a tough pill to swallow, but it still is the truth. It's reality. And so that's like taking off your blindfold and seeing things as they really are. The advice, or what is coming in the near future, and I think it's coming in the near future, the 9 of Pentacles. I really think this is a card that should be assigned specifically to you. Maybe it is. It is Pentacles, so that's Earth. You're 9 in the Major Arcana with the Hermit card. And so you're the 9th month, September. I don't know. If it is, I'll have to check that out. I keep promising myself I'm going to do it, and then I forget like 2 minutes later. But the main thing is that this card represents somebody who is self-sufficient. And definitely Virgo is someone who is very independent and capable of taking care of themselves. And so whether you're male or female, you can be lead a very organized, disciplined life with or without somebody at your side. And maybe this card is just a reminder that you don't need somebody. You may want somebody, but you don't need them. And to revel in that and to be grateful that you have that in you that is able to kind of be alone. There are some signs that are much less acclimated towards solitude, and you're not one of them. You're capable of that, and if that's how it has to be for now, that's fine. It's right underneath the Hangman card, so it's about, there may be that you need more time, or that you're not willing to, you may still be unwilling to make a decision, but you're biding your time. And what is so wonderful, and by the way too, if this is like some kind of a job offer and you're not sure, or it's still like, it seems like it's taking time, and even the Hierophant could be about this corporate culture that may be something that you're not sure about, whether or not you want to participate in something like that. It's like time is on your side. And if you're doing something for yourself, it may be something that really enriches your soul. Because even as the Outcome card, whether this is love or whether this is for your career, the Six of Cups is about this sense of, it's like this is a soulmate card. So it's like coming in contact with somebody who is your soulmate, your twin flame. It could be somebody from your past, your childhood. There have been a lot of that going on. Perhaps that's what you have been trying to decide about, because we did have Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde. Maybe there were blasts from the past and that stirred things up. And it reminded you, if you were in a marriage that was not happy, it may have kind of, made it painfully aware that something was lacking in your marriage. And maybe you will be reunited with a love, the one that got away type of a love relationship. In terms of job, it's like the job that you have always wanted to do. And that's why I said with the Two of Pentacles, this could be something that you've been working on the side, but you just are afraid to commit to it wholeheartedly because it's not, maybe the earnings are erratic, or maybe you haven't even started earning money on this endeavor, but you're working behind the scenes perhaps. So whatever is happening, I see like a good future. Now, I'm not saying this is all going to happen in 2 weeks, but that is the kind of the general theme that I see. So I hope you enjoyed this, Virgo. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Oh, wait a second. Before I get into that spiel, I did promise you that I would pick a card from the Oracle deck. And it's so funny because I just go right into that spiel at the end and say goodbye. And I'm not going to do that because I want to pick a card for you. And I love picking these cards. I should do this more often when I do general readings because it's fun when it resonates. I did get with one of the other signs something that really resonated with the reading itself. So that's always cool. Okay, this is kind of cool. Strategy number 21. So I'm going to have to put this down because I got to look at the book. I don't have these memorized. So I really don't know what this is going to be about. Okay, I'll hold this up for a sec. This card shows a pen, journal, compass, and key. When you receive this card upright, it indicates that this is the optimum time for setting up a very specific strategy for achieving your goals. Write about the direction you want to go in. Consider any potential change in course that may be needed. Be aware of the particulars regarding your goals and have some conscious plan in mind. Structure the short-term goals needed to make your long-term goal a reality. This card is telling you to spend some time setting things in order. It's time to take full control. Add thought to action and set your sights on the road ahead. Wow. Thoughts to action, So in other words, if you've been kind of, like this Two of Swords or the Hangman card, if you've been kind of dragging your feet on something, it may be time to start the ball rolling by writing things down. That's always a good piece of advice. So I hope you enjoyed that part of the reading also. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have a great rest of May. Bye.